Hey, what's going on, guys? Elliott and Morgan here from Movie Files, here to give you guys our review for the big award kind of buzz type of movie by the title of Lady Bird. So, thank you guys for tuning in, and let's jump right into this review. Alrighty, so as you guys know, we like to keep our movie reviews kind of at a bare minimum when it comes to spoilers. So we like to touch on the surface on things such as the characters, the story. We got a first-time director. We're going to talk about her direction of the movie, and then we're just going to finish up with our score. So we'll just touch on first the story of the movie. So not to give too much away, but if you see the trailers, this is a movie based on kind of coming of age. You have a young lady going through her first Lady Bird, going through her last year of high school. The movie takes place within a year of her life. We're placing a year in her life, and we just see her relationships amongst her family, her friends, and we see how that all plays out. So a really good, again, not giving too much away, just a really good coming of age story that highlights things as, like I said, friendships, relationships with your family, relationships with your best friends, relationships with newer people you meet. And they just do such a beautiful job of just telling this wonderful story.
Yeah. And I think one of the main points that they were trying to convey, or Lady Bird was trying to convey, was really, as a kid, you just kind of hate your hometown, right? And you just want to get as far away as you can. So she's in this transition point where she is finishing up her last year in high school. She's at a Catholic school, and she is living in Sacramento, and she wants to get as far away as possible. And she wants to apply to schools on the East Coast. So it was interesting to kind of see how her hate really was kind of love for where she grew up to.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and it was just, again, and we'll just keep it at that for the story and let you guys enjoy it on your own when you get to see it. But yeah, the story is just really beautifully done, which leads into our characters. Lady Bird, played by
Saoirse Ronan.
Ronan, yes. Seeing her grow up, I remember when we saw Hannah many years ago, and just looking at her now. We didn't get a chance to see Brooklyn, but we heard great things about it. And just seeing her career, where she's at, is just such a beautiful upward spiral type of thing towards just great things that come for her. And her performance in this movie, really, she leads the movie. Obviously, she's the lead of the movie, but she does such a great job. Just, you feel her pain. Sometimes you're frustrated with her. It's just a perfect, you can relate to this movie at any point in your life, but just going back to being a teenager, I'm almost 10 years removed from high school. You're almost 8. Just remembering those moments being in high school. But again, just any point in your life when you feel like you're not in a good space, you want to be somewhere else, you're bouncing around with different friendships, relationships, and you just seeing all that play out. She does such a beautiful job as Lady Bird, just playing this character, embracing herself towards the end of the movie, just things like that. And then just touching on the other surrounding characters, with the relationship with her mom was just such a beautifully done kind of relationship that we saw play on the screen. Her father, her friends. I just thought everything, all of our characters that was involved in this movie, even ones that didn't get that much screen time, had something to do in this film and did something that moved the story along and not make the story feel kind of slowed down. So I just think that every character we got on the screen, again, from her friends, her family, including the main character, just did a great job.
Yeah. I think what Elliott said too is there's a lot of characters in this movie, and they don't all get a ton of screen time, but they all get just enough. And I think that really what the director was trying to tell a story of is how each person that comes into your life is a product of who you are. They say you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend your most time with,
dropping knowledge right now. Yeah.
So anyway, you see her kind of change as she develops new relationships, ends old relationships, and things like that. And Saoirse Ronan, I think I was just in awe of her. I mean, she really truly embodied that character, and it didn't feel like an actress. I felt like I was watching a true life, like a real person's
like a reality
life.
show almost.
And I just really enjoyed getting to know Christine and Lady Bird. I think you're kind of introduced to 2 kind of different people, and as she grows and just realizes that, and this is a life lesson I think that we all learn, that when we're not happy with where we are, sometimes we want to be somewhere else, and we think that is going to be better for us. But sometimes where you are is right where you need to be. So, but yeah, like Elliott said, the relationships, I think some of my favorites were definitely her and her best friend. And I'm going to look her name up, Beanie Fieldstein. So her
She
best
played
friend
Julie,
was,
yeah.
she played Julie, and or Jules, and I just love their friendship. It was just so beautiful. And then she has a relationship with Danny, played by Lucas Hodges. And I just really enjoyed that as well. And then I think honestly, my two favorites were her relationship with her mom and then her relationship with her dad. Just because it kind of reminded me a little bit of like the relationship I have with my parents myself.
Right.
And it just was so beautiful. I think, you know, the movie was a lot about the relationship between a mother and daughter. But
so much to the point that at one point the movie was going to be called Mothers and Daughters. It's such a pivotal part of the movie, but yeah.
Yeah. But the father played a really, really important role too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, great characters all around, like Morgan said. A really great relationship type of piece movie. The characters did a great job. And shout out to Timothy Chalamet. Yeah, we just saw him in Call Me By Your Name. And this kid
he did,
just,
oh my God, he did such a good job.
And we were just being funny. I mean, it might be a connected universe with Lady Bird he played a great role. It's great to see him in the movie. It's a great
and their relationship. I mean, it was there for a moment, but
and
it was important to the story.
And we'll lead into the direction of this film, which was the first time director
Greta Gerwig.
Yeah, she did such a great job of just playing. Even though I can talk about the characters, some characters don't get as much screen time, but they're there for a purpose. And we're able to, even in a short time you get to spend with these secondary characters, you still understand who they are as a person at that short amount of time. So she did a great job. And we'll get more into her direction. I've just thought that she I've never been to Sacramento, but I felt like I've been there the way she shot it, bringing out the things that Lady Bird didn't like, but also showing the town as someone that loves Sacramento. She showed appreciation to that town and showed the beauty of it. And then things from just, again, directing her characters, directing scenes, making the things look beautiful. She just did a great. This is her first movie, so I mean, and this reminds me of Jordan Peele's first debut with Get Out. I mean, just their first time in a directing chair, just being able to knock it out of the park. I hope to see more things from her. She did a great job.
Most definitely. This movie was incredible. Like I just wanted more. You know, even at the end, and it was a long movie. I mean, it was 2 hours.
No, this was pretty short. It was an hour and a half.
Okay, an hour and a half.
It felt,
but it felt shorter.
Yeah. Well, it felt to me,
long
it felt
and short
like,
at the same time.
It was
kind of
movie.
weird. Yeah, but it was so good. It just left you wanting more. But then they also ended it, I think, perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk. I mean, we, as you can tell, we really enjoyed this movie. I think the only thing I would say, as far as a negative, this is a coming of age story, and we've seen many coming of age stories, not just this year, but from cinema as a whole. But I think it didn't really reshape the coming of age story. It touched on things that you might have seen in other movies, but I think she just did. She wrote this movie too, but I think she highlighted some things that some movies. I think of Edge of 17, which I know a lot of people love, but it didn't connect with me as much. I thought this movie did a better job of displaying relationships and showing a person at a point in their life and watching them evolve as a character. So I think her writing and directing this movie did a great job. But like I said, if I were to put a negative thing on this, which is this movie is great, is it didn't really reshape or reimagine the coming of age story as
Honestly, I have no drawbacks on this one.
Which I
guess going into our score. This was a 5 out of 5 for me.
She's just throwing these 5 out of 5
I
everywhere.
was just so
I'm excited
amazed.
to see her top 10 list.
Oh my gosh, it was so freaking good.
Yeah.
And not only was it good and it made you laugh. Like there were so many funny parts.
And it wasn't forced either.
It wasn't. So 5 out of 5 for me. I absolutely adored it. I cannot wait until it comes out so I can put it in my Blu-ray. I almost said DVD collection. Where am I? In 2002?
We're in 2018 almost. But yeah, with piggybacking off Morgan, so I'm going to go ahead and go with a 4.5 out of 5. Again, a great film, a really good film. I just think that it has a lot of, and it's worthy of the praise it's getting. But I don't think it reimagined or left that lasting effect like a movie like Coco or like a movie like Call Me by Your Name. I mean, it has a good effect, but it does. I'm going to watch it when we get it, but I think that there's some other movies
that
disagree
on this
have
one.
a better lasting effect with me.
It did have a lasting effect.
But
I absolutely loved it. I'm sorry.
No,
you
you're
can't
fine.
talk if you're not.
4.5 out of 5 for me.
You're not going to give it a 5 out of 5. I'm kidding.
4.5 out of 5 for me. 5 out of 5 for Morgan. So we enjoyed the film. We would highly recommend you guys to go check it out if you guys get the chance.
Yeah.
But we would love to know what you guys thought of the movie. Leave your comments below. As usual, follow us on our social media accounts where we can continue this awesome conversation about Lady Bird and the wonderful movies we got this year and movies we got to come. So definitely follow us, as you can see down here, on Instagram at Movie Files, at Twitter at Movie Files Live, and on Stardust at Movie Files. And also, guys, just something to keep an eye out for. We'll be having another video coming out shortly, which is a review for The Shape of Water. And then once we wrap that up, we'll have our top 10 list as far as 2017 movies go. And also, we'll do a nice little video on movies we're excited to see in 2018. So if you're coming around this video in 2018, Happy New Year. We're looking forward to doing more awesome things for you guys. And as usual, thanks for tuning in on our review for the movie of Lady Bird, and we'll see you guys again shortly. Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you for watching that video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button, as well as subscribe to our channel where we have some other reviews and TV reviews for you guys, and we will see you guys again.